What happens when the man who built Nigeria's giant refinery cuts out the middlemen? Suddenly, private field depots stand empty. That's seen across Lagos and its environs right now, as the Dangote Petroleum Refinery begins direct fuel supplies to marketers. Many private depots are deserted. It isn't just unusual, it might signal a transformation of Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector. Let's unpack what's going on, what's at stake, and why this could be a game changer. What we know. Here's a breakdown of the facts reported so far. On Monday, private depots in Lagos and surrounding areas saw sharp drops in activity. Operators say many are nearly empty. The reason? The Dangote Refinery has started direct supply of petrol to marketers. This means marketers can bypass or reduce reliance on intermediary depots. A source who asked to stay anonymous said the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has commenced direct supplies to marketers. This is mainly why the depots have recorded skeletal operations. Olatide Jeremiah, CEO of petroleumprice.ng, described the market as destabilized because Dangote is now calling the shots. The rollout of 1,000 trucks was cited as a trigger for the sharp decline in purchases at depots. It's not just about fewer purchases. Depot prices are falling, even as global oil prices rise. That reflects the influence of local supply forces. At the same time, Dangote CEO emphasized the refinery's role in improving energy security, reducing long-standing fuel queues, and transforming the downstream petroleum sector. Why it matters. This isn't just logistics. It's being seen as a structural shift with several ripple effects. 1. Disruption of established supply chains and business models. Private depots have traditionally been intermediaries, receiving bulk import or inter-refinery fuel, storing it, and selling to marketers or other smaller depots. With Dangote supplying directly and rolling out its own distribution, including trucks, many depots may see reduced demand. That threatens their business viability. 2. Falling depot prices and market-driven pricing. Because supply is now more direct, shorter chain, depot prices have dropped, even as global prices rise. That's a rare mix. Usually rising global costs push up local prices everywhere. This kind of pricing pressure could force depots and marketers to adopt better practices, reduce overhead costs, become more efficient. 3. Fuel queues and energy security. For decades, Nigerians have suffered fuel shortages and long queues. Dangote had promised that its refinery would help alleviate this. Since direct supply began, there are reports fuel queues have eased in many places. This suggests more reliable supply and less dependence on import-delayed fuel. 4. Power shift. Dangote Refinery is becoming a central force in the downstream market, able to influence prices, supply volumes, and market norms. This kind of dominance can have both good and bad effects. On the one hand, efficiency, scale, better supply. On the other, risk of monopolistic behavior or squeezing out smaller players. Challenges and risks. While there's a lot of promise, there are also challenges and potential downsides. Depots and small operators threatened. Those who have invested in depot infrastructure may see underutilization or stranded assets. Logistical and operational pressures. Dangote must ensure its distribution network, trucks, maintenance, storage, delivery, works well and reliably. Otherwise, supply gaps or delays could still occur. Price volatility. If Dangote's costs rise, imported crude, chemicals, shipping, etc., that might eventually push up prices again. Short-term benefit doesn't always translate to long-term stability. Regulatory questions. Competition law, pricing regulation, ensuring fair access, ensuring smaller marketers aren't unfairly disadvantaged. Supply sufficiency. While Dangote aims to meet much of Nigeria's fuel demand, there remains concern whether output is enough, consistently, especially as demand fluctuates or during maintenance or shutdowns. What to watch next? For those following this closely, here are key things to monitor. 1. Depot utilization trends. Are depots permanently becoming less used, or is this temporary as markets adjust? 2. Pump price trends. With direct supply, will pump prices stabilize or drop significantly? 3. Fuel queue reports. Are consumers experiencing fewer shortages or delays? 4. Regulatory and policy responses. Will government bodies step in to regulate Dangote's dominance, ensure competition, protect smaller players? 5. Supply sufficiency. While Dangote aims to meet much of Nigeria's fuel demand, there remains concern whether output is enough consistently, especially as demand fluctuates or during maintenance or shutdowns. The bigger picture. Nigeria has long aspired to reduce dependency on fuel imports. The Dangote Refinery, from its 650,000 barrels per day capacity to its direct distribution, is part of that strategy. Africa, more broadly, suffers when refined fuel is imported. We pay foreign exchange, suffer delays, face supply insecurity. A local supply brings multiple economic, social, and security benefits. This also ties into global energy economics, refining capacity, supply chains, trade flows, domestic production versus import reliance. Conclusion. The image of private depots standing largely empty is more than just a photo op. It could mark the beginning of systemic change in how Nigeria gets its petrol. Dangote's direct supply model is already reshaping pricing, supply, and market power. This is a moment of opportunity and risk. If done well, it could bring more stable fuel supply, lower prices, and less dependence on import delays. If mismanaged, however, it could concentrate power, reduce competition, and threaten smaller players who helped build Nigeria's fuel distribution ecosystem. For Nigerians across the country, the ask is, are we truly seeing a new era powered by Dangote, or just another shift in who controls the taps?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay informed with fast, reliable news, don't forget to subscribe to Newsflash 360. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next headline is just seconds away.